a risk that the United States could lose its AAA credit rating, yes or no?
No risk of that.
No risk.
No risk.
So Standard & Poor's is wrong. The United States will keep its AAA credit rating.
You know, people, absolutely.
That was Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner back in April. And we know now that the U.S. can and did lose its AAA rating. So what now for the U.S. and world markets? Joining us now on the phone is Republican Congressman Kevin Brady, Vice Chair to the Joint Economic Committee. Congressman, thanks for being with us. This happened late Friday, so we won't have any indication of how it will affect the markets until really later tomorrow when the Asian markets open up. What's your prediction?
Well, Molly, thanks for having me. My guess is not a lot. The markets have built this in. I think they've been anticipating it, unfortunately, and so I don't see a big surprise there. It's embarrassing for the United States. It could have been prevented. It reflects years of inaction, especially on our entitlements, but I don't see major impacts come Sunday night, Monday morning.
Staying in Asia just for a minute, the U.S. is getting an economic dressing down, if you will, from Communist China today over the downgrading. We have a quote from their state-run news agency that says, quote, China, the largest creditor of the world's sole superpower, has every right now to demand the United States address its structural debt problems and ensure the safety of China's dollar assets. To cure its addiction to debts, the United States has to reestablish the common sense principle that one should live within its means. Congressman, what do you think about that from China? A bit of needling, or do they have a point?
Well, they have a point. I think they're part self-interest and part self-serving. Their self-interest is they hold our dollars. They have a fair say in the value of that. But they're also very self-serving in this because they're pushing in their statement deeper cuts to the U.S. military for obvious reasons and calling for a new global reserve currency, which eventually they hope to be part of. So that's the self-serving part of this. Probably this is predictable.
Anything Congress can do, you're a lawmaker, anything Congress can do to get this rating to go back up or get the wheels in motion to get it to go back up?
Absolutely. One, I think this has made the case that we need to go much deeper into our entitlements because that really is the long-term structural reform we need. They made the point to Standard & Poor's that our governance now is less stable, less effective, less predictable. And I think if we set out those reforms in entitlements, we can erase that. And then make the other point that our U.S. global competitors, they're getting a handle on their debt. It's America that's not. So this ought to add real impetus for not just this select committee efforts, but I think overall reform of our debt.
Nothing moves that quickly in Washington, but we'll see. Maybe this will spur it. One last thing. What are you telling your constituents about how they'll be affected by this downgrade?
You know, right now, the way I see it, because it's one rating agency, you're on probation. 2 rating agencies downgrade us, we've got real problems, and that's going to spread into anything that anyone borrows anywhere in America. And so this is, again, a huge red flag for us, but we have the opportunity to change this around and restore this credit. I'm worried the Standard & Poor's, even though they said they were objective and neutral about raising revenue, if you read their rationale, they're clearly trying to make a case that we need to raise revenue rather than cut spending in Washington. We just, as conservatives, as Republicans, we reject that thinking. It really needs to be focused on the entitlements and on spending.
All right, Congressman Kevin Brady, Republican from Texas, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Molly.
Have a good day.